The open house scam. Here's a new one on me. So last week, Kenny and I each held an open house on Friday. I did a property out in the country. Kenny did a property here in town. And they were held at the same times. The following day, right around 10:30, got a text message from the seller in town. And she says, oh, by the way, somebody showed up here for the open house. They thought it was today instead of yesterday. And so I went ahead and let them in and showed them the house. And instantly I was like, oh, no. So anyway, got her on the phone. I said, describe to me how this unraveled. And she said, an older gentleman, gray hair, brown hair with a beard. Brown hair with a beard. Presented himself at the property, knocked on the door, and said I was here for the open house, and acted genuinely surprised when it was the homeowner, not the realtor. And so anyway, had some paper. Said, the fella says my realtor printed off a list of open houses this weekend. I'm just going around to look at them. I said, oh, how many pieces of paper do you have? She goes, I don't know how many pieces of paper he had, but he said there's about 10 open houses this weekend. I was like, red flag alert. There was only like 3 the entire weekend. We had 2 on Friday. There's 3. We had 2 on Friday, and then one other real estate agent in town was hosting another one on a Saturday. So anyway, I was like, well, that's a red flag. Like, this guy's a con. And unfortunately, the seller didn't want to believe me. And that's okay. Like, you're kind of reluctant to kind of realize that some of this stuff happens in our community. So anyway, I sat on that information for a few hours, and lo and behold, the seller of where I did an open house out in the country, he calls me. He's not a texter, he calls. He says, hey, there was a fella here and wanted to see the house. He thought the open house was today instead of yesterday. And I said, please tell me he's still there. He goes, no, he just left. Why? I said, it's a con. Like, they're there casing the place. He's like, no way. And I was like, oh yeah. And I said, what did he look like? He goes, young fella, blonde hair, driving I think it was a gray car. And I was like, did you get the license plates? He said, no. He said, but there was no license plate on the front of the vehicle, which isn't totally uncommon in Wyoming. It's not a state law to have your plates on the front of your vehicle always. But again, another red alert. And so instantly I called back our seller number 1, and I said, what was that fella driving? And she said, oh, like a blue or a black car. And so then I had to let her know. There's somebody else out and about with the exact same script, carrying paper. One was a young fella, one was the old fella. One had a beard, one didn't. Each had different colored hair, driving different vehicles. By themselves. They were solo. Each one of them was solo when they presented themselves at our seller's door. So, of course, got the sheriff's department involved, got the police department involved, had the sellers file their reports, and, I sent out alerts to all the real estate agents in the area. There's recently been some activity in Crook County. Again, people thieving. They're thefts. They're cons. And they're really good at it, to be quite frank. Like, they pass themselves as cordial, calm. You might want to go out to, coffee with them and get to know them a little bit better. Like, neither seller was alarmed by either fella. Which is kind of, I guess, good on the potential thieves, like good job passing yourself onto the public. Um, but we have these conversations with our customers all the time. Like, you have to be on guard. As soon as the sign goes in the ground, you're a target. And here again, this was another example of that. But the open house trick was a new one for me. I had not seen that in 14 years of doing business. Similar to some other acts that I've seen, and I think I've recorded them here and disclosed them here on our YouTube page. And I always feel like every time I have to do one of these videos, I'm giving the thieves a how-to video, a script book on how to get this done. But the realistic part of it is I got to make our customers aware, when we sit in person and talk about the listing and how it's going to unfold the next few weeks or the next few months, and why you need to be vigilant and always on guard, and you know who to trust in your circle and who not to trust. And I don't care if it's, these two fellas passed him off as just common Joes on the street, just out looking at houses. And let me be fair. Here's the other distinctive thing that I found on that Saturday. The house in town was in the $200 to $300 price range, $200 to $300,000 price range. Quarter-acre lot, manufactured home, no garage, nothing over the top, nothing. It's an entry-level home or a second home, or maybe you're downsizing into it. But the home out in the country, it's on acreage, stick built, over $500,000 list price. Like, the same buyer with the same script isn't going to be looking at the same property types. These are two different classes of property types. That was the other thing, but they had the exact same script. So I know it's a con, and I know that they're there casing the place and looking to probably steal something, all of which now we know. Fortunate for us, we did the two of them back to back simultaneously, and the thieves weren't paying attention to who the listing agents were, so they slipped up and flubbed up there a little bit. But now, I sent out a notice to every realtor in Northeast Wyoming. We're going to have sellers on guard. So anyway, just wanted to do a quick video here and share our recent past experience with you on yet another con, another scam. And they're bold. Like, knock on the door. Hey, can I come in and see your place? Oh, I thought the open house was today. I'm sorry. And then both of them said this too. This was the other interesting part. Verbatim. They both said, you know what, if it's inconvenient for you, I'll just call my realtor and I'll come back a different time. Trying to build trust in less than 30 seconds with the homeowner. Homeowner 1, they did. They got in the house. Homeowner 2, they did not, because him and his wife have been listening to me and, said, no, you come back with a trained professional. We're not trained professionals. So anyway, hope this helps. I hope you don't get caught off guard. It's unfortunate we see these things even in our area, our little neck of the woods of Wyoming. It is what it is. We have to be vigilant. We have to be aware, of which I'm bringing you this education. Next time, it might not be an open house script. It could be a, hey, I'm here for a showing script. I've seen that before in the past. Or, I don't know. They're going to offer a service of some kind. Hey, who knows? I'm not going to keep up on what their scripts are going to be. But it could be something, right? Like, they're going to offer you something or have an excuse, or, hey, my realtor's running late. I need to get going. I need to get back to my job. List can go on and on what the excuses they'll have. Bottom line is, unless you know who's coming in your house or they're guided by a professional agent, probably not a good idea to let them in. We're talking, they're looking for drugs, they're looking for jewelry, they're looking for cash, they're looking for guns and ammunition, um, tools, stuff that's non-titled that they can sell pretty quick on Facebook, um, or social media platforms, Craigslist, whatever, whatever their flavor is to sell back on to resale. They can call the auctioneer, have the auctioneer sell for you. Not for you, for them, because they're going to steal it from you. But anyway, you just never know. And so non-titled stuff, drugs they're looking to consume or sell to generate cash. Yeah, like I said, it's really unfortunate, but I hope that this helps bring awareness to things that we are seeing in our communities in Northeast Wyoming. If you got any questions, reach out to me. This will, hopefully law enforcement's able to catch up to these two fellas. And if there's more in their sting operation, hopefully we give the law enforcement a little bit of a head start here on what to be watching for. But anyway, like I said, reach out if you got questions, concerns, comments. I feel like for sale owners are at the most risk here because they're being their own agents and trying to do their own thing and, obviously save some money. I get that. But I'm here to tell you, if you're not trained to watch these people, ask the right questions, do the right actions, kind of go through the right systems, you're not going to save any money because it's going to cost you money. So anyway, catch you on the next video, and be sure to stay in touch, like the page, do whatever. Talk to you later.